guys? Riccardo here with Linners and Wosers, and we got a special episode for you guys. Tune in with Nick and I as we bring you Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC news and discussion with our special guest, you guessed it, head coach Eamon Zayed. Make sure you guys give a follow, subscribe, a like on all of our social media platforms to go ahead and keep up with the finest footy news.
All right. I do want to go ahead and appreciate everyone for tuning in. I have our special guest here with us, Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC head coach Eamon Zayed. How are you today?
I am very good. Excited for another game. Tomorrow we play Chattanooga Red Wolves. So I'm excited for that game. But yeah, happy with how things are going so far.
I'm glad that you're able to go ahead and join us again. It's been over 10 months since we last spoke. I know Nick here has a lot of the Hailstorm gear behind him. Pretty excited to go ahead and discuss here a lot, over the U.S. Open Cup, how you guys are doing in the league, chit-chat about some of the players and your experience here. But I'll hand it off to Nick here. I know that he's been pretty excited to go ahead and talk about Hailstorm here. So, Nick.
So I have to know, is there going to be any fireworks at the end of the game tomorrow, like in Chattanooga last time? Or
listen, we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if there's fireworks before the game and after the game and during the game. Look, it's obviously a game that myself and the assistant coach Kevin Sawchuk, we obviously have a little bit of history there, and we're not going to hide the fact that we really don't particularly like them. We want to keep it all business. Look, at the end of the day, it's another game. It's 3 points. It's a chance to avenge the last game when we played against them. I felt it was our worst performance of the season. It just wasn't. I don't think it was a good reflection of who we are as a group. And I think you'll see a different game tomorrow. I really do. I think we've progressed. We're such a brand new team that I feel like every week we progress in certain areas. And definitely the game. I remember the mentality going into that game, during the game, after the game. We're a different team. I feel like we are now for sure. So look, yeah. Hopefully it'll be fireworks, but it'll be fireworks on our end after we beat them. So we'll see.
Good to know. So, going from what you said, worst performance, do you think your best performance of the season was against Central Valley Fuego recently?
It's easy to look at obviously score lines and go, right, your best performance is the best score line. When we beat Fuego 4-1, and your worst is obviously your the score line where you lose 4-1. It's difficult to say. I do feel like the Chattanooga Red Wolves game was the worst performance. Not only because we lost 4-1. I just thought mentally, energy-wise, it wasn't great. And then just mentally, I thought we gave up when we went 2-1, 3-1 down. I just thought we gave up. And that's something that we corrected. We had a couple of issues when we went to goal down. We started off games flying. I think we have a great record in terms of scoring goals first. And then the other team would equalize or even maybe go a goal ahead, and we would just switch off. We would almost, it's like we weren't used to it. It's almost like we felt, we're untouchable. We're going to go out and win a game easy, and the other team aren't going to win or score. And when that happened, I just felt we weren't able to react and come back in games. Now I think we've rectified that. I think we've shown in numerous games already that when we go a goal down, or even if the team equalizes, that we can come back and get that winning goal. And I think it kind of, if I can look back on the Charlotte game where we won 2-1, we scored, then they equalized, and then Trevor and Man scored the winner. I feel like from that game onwards, we got stronger and stronger in terms of knowing that we can come back from games and we can come back from setbacks. So I think that's massive. And that will be massive moving forward in terms of getting points, whether that's to grab a point or to grab 3 points. I thought Fuego, I thought 4-1 was an excellent game. I thought we could have won the game 8-1. We had great chances. Look, it was great it was our first game that we scored more than 2 goals. That was something that we've been working on all the time at training and talking about all the time, creating more really good chances and then taking them. And I felt obviously we did that against Fuego. So possibly that was our best performance. I do think the couple of the US Open Cup game against Real Salt Lake, I thought was a really, really solid team defensive performance.
Mm-hmm.
I thought even obviously the performance against the Switchbacks to kick off the season, I thought again that was a really good, strong team defensive performance. I felt Charlotte, the game we won 2-1 down in Charlotte, I thought that was a really good performance. Away from home, on the road, I thought that was a really solid performance to go down there and get 3 points. But look, obviously playing at home, bossing possession, creating chances, numerous chances. I don't think the result ever looked in doubt. It also had the setback. Fuego scored first, and then we came into we equalised and fought for that go ahead goal from Trevor just before halftime. So yeah, Fuego was probably your best performance. Now that we discussed it there, Nick, you're right. It was our best performance so far.
All right, let's kick it back to the start of the Open Cup where you guys beat the Switchbacks. And let's compare it to Real Salt Lake. Which game felt better to win? I know every win feels great, but did the red card setback feel win, or playing an MLS team feel better? So which one was better?
I think the Real Salt Lake one felt better. I think the Switchbacks, we went into the game confident. When we got a red card, I remember thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a long night." And I genuinely wasn't sure. We already had a setback going into that game because we hadn't registered our international players, so we were 6-7 players down through not having their ITCs processed in time. Yeah. So I when we got a man sent off, I was thinking, let's just hold on, let's just see what happens. So that felt great. That really did feel good. But I think the Real Salt Lake game, because I had that MLS atmosphere, there was 19,000 people at it. A really lovely stadium. We had just lost to Chattanooga actually the weekend before. Mm-hmm. So going into that game, we weren't sure how we were going to be mentally and how the confidence was going to be. So that game really, I thought that game felt great. I thought the guys performed fantastically well in that game, and overall that definitely felt better.
Can you go ahead and share some of the words maybe you threw in the locker room going ahead against Real Salt Lake? I mean, it's a pretty big, tough opponent there. The Rapids themselves sometimes struggle to go ahead and beat them at their home in Utah. So you guys going out there, new kids in the USL League One block, showing them how it's done. Beautiful goal by Cornwall there. So just want to go ahead and see here if you remember some of the words that you might have shared with the guys there going into that second half.
Yeah, no, I think the key word going into that game, before the game at halftime, was just, I think before the game, I do remember, before the game was just opportunity, right? Belief in opportunity. I didn't really have to, the great thing about it, I didn't really have to say much because, it was a gorgeous stadium. I could see the guys were up for it from the warm-up. I could see the look in their faces that they were up for it. So I think going into that and that before the game was just, what an opportunity, guys. You're playing against an MLS team in front of, a good crowd. Go out and show what you're made of, and for yourselves and for the club and the team. And then I remember the second half coming in and going, listen, they're really not, they're an MLS team, but we're just as good as them. We've showed it, the first half that we can also play. Because I thought in the first half we were playing out from the back. We were moving the ball well enough. We didn't create too much, but I still felt we were moving the ball from the back into the midfield. And we got a couple of moments in there in their half. So the guys are really confident at halftime. I remember the locker room. It was full of confidence, and it was getting to halftime at 0-0 and being in the game, well in the game. I knew the guys felt that, hold on, we can do this here. We can beat them. We're just as good as them. That's how it felt. So the second half was just about belief. The first half, opportunity. Then the second half, just believe that we can go out and perform and beat them. They were some of the words that we used, but I think it was a lot of it was just self-motivation from going down there and wanting to go out and beat them, and when you come up against a team, Sorry, I have a dog here, Koa. You can see her here. She's moaning a little bit. I'm gonna have to put her out. What's up? Come here. Right, I'll be back in a second, guys. But no, look, as I said, it was just about going out and fighting and believing. And sometimes when you come up against opposition, it's easier as a coach to maybe motivate the guys because they're going into a game that we're underdogs. We're maybe not expected to do anything. And then when you get into the game, it's just about believing in yourselves. And as I said, definitely after that first half, 100% the guys believed they could do it. And if I can just rewind slightly to the switchbacks game, right before full time ended, the 90 minutes obviously went into extra time. We had a couple of opportunities. I think Lachlan McLean had a couple of opportunities, pulled out some good saves from their goalkeeper. And I remember again, just before the extra time started, we were all together, and it was belief, really. They just believed that they could go out and beat the switchbacks even with 10 men. So that was 100% the key word in both games, and definitely the second half against Real Salt Lake.
Nick and I made the journey down to Colorado Springs to go ahead and watch the U.S. Open Cup game against the Switchbacks, and I'm just going to go ahead and agree with you there. There was a certain moment there towards the end of the game coming into extra time that the hunger just leaned towards Hailstorm so much heavier, and the chances were there, a couple knocks, and then the goal eventually did come there. And it was a great experience to have all the players, even at the end of the game, come over and celebrate over on our fan section. Very windy game, if you remember that. And,
I remember. No, it's like there was the old school Rocky movies where Rocky he's just getting battered for like 10 rounds or 11 rounds, and the other opponent is like, I can't knock this guy out. He's still here. And then Rocky comes into it and wins. And those games can be like that. The longer you hold on and you show you're in the fight, the opposition, just their confidence goes, and they're like, are we ever going to score here? Are we going to break them down? And then as it, we just grow into it. So them two games obviously were historic, and they were great for the club and for the team. And I think it also showed the level that some of the players, and as I think where we could get and can get.
Awesome. Well, I know we felt it a little bit helping with storm chasers and such, but have you felt a little bit of the national acknowledgement after those couple games?
100%, yeah. No, 100%. Even national and even just around the area, like I remember when I first came in 10 months ago, and just before I spoke to you guys last, we're still trying to build our brand here in Northern Colorado, and I've no doubt that it's going to grow and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, especially when we move into our home in Windsor. But even when I first came here, a lot of local people I'd meet, they would, what are you doing over here? And you talk about Northern Colorado Hailstorm, and they'd be interested, ask questions. But I noticed that when we did beat the Switchbacks, and then especially Real Salt Lake, instead of me explaining or going up to people will come up to me. I remember a couple of times wearing the Hailstorm polo t-shirt or a sweater going down to the Denver airport, and a couple of people coming up saying, hey, great result against Real Salt Lake. So I noticed that we were getting a bit more attention locally, but then internationally, and nationally around, just doing other podcasts or interviews. It was great for the guys and great for the team and the club, and that's how you build your brand. When you're winning games, people take note. When you're losing, it's a little bit more difficult.
Let's not forget the Sports Center top 10 goal.
Oh yeah, that was huge. I noticed you got a little bit of fame yourself. Everyone notices your sweater game every match.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they seem to take a liking, maybe a bit too much of a liking towards the sweaters.
Getting a little hot.
Yeah, and they asked me, I remember going down to Charlotte and Omaha, it was over 80, 90 degrees, and they're asking me, am I going to wear a sweater? I'm like, no, I can't. It's so hot. But the sweaters are funny. Yeah, they were. I just thought, look, I had a couple of sweaters that I got obviously from Ireland. Aaron sweaters, they're called. They're kind of unique to Ireland in a way, and I just thought maybe it'll bring you a bit of luck. And obviously when we beat the Switchbacks and then Real Salt Lake, I was like, I'm gonna have to keep wearing these, no matter how hot it is. And I think the Omaha game, I didn't wear it initially, and then I said, I'm gonna try, and we need a bit of luck here, something to change the game. And look, we obviously ended up losing the game, but Yeah,
Mhm.
it's too
You had a
hot.
couple shouts on Twitter I saw from the Omaha fans, like, "Why is he wearing a sweater in this weather?"
A bit of friendly banter, which I love. I love fans.
They're good.
Even if it's friendly abuse, I'll take it.
They're a good crowd, the Omaha fans. I
Yeah.
enjoy them.
Yeah, they are. They're good. There's Omaha fan. I mean, if I had to, I mean, the teams that we play, Omaha fans are good. They always have a good bit of banter. Richmond fans, they give a little bit as well, and they always have a bit of banter at their games. Madison, I'm looking forward to going up to Madison. They usually have a good crowd, good fan base as well. And Fuego seem like they have a good crowd now as well. Obviously, they're only new as well, but they look like they have a decent crowd as well.
Yeah, Madison fans have reached out to the Storm Chasers, and they said they're bringing like 15 people to the Fort Collins match on the 5th. So
yeah, no,
better outnumber them.
Yeah, they're a good crowd.
On the topic of home matches, I just want to go ahead and mention the dates here for the games at the Canvas Stadium at CSU football for our listeners here, and I just kind of discuss on some of the more memorable ones that we've had so far. So on July 5th, Ford Madison's coming to visit. On July 13th, Fuego, and then on the 17th, we have Independence. So 3 pretty good games here to go ahead and host at Canvas Stadium, and looking really forward to it. I know that we'll be there at the July 5th. Myself, 13th and 17th, Nick will go ahead. Nick and I will both try to be there at those games to go ahead and bring some pretty exciting content, some projects that we're working on to go ahead and bring out the exposure for the team here and the supporters group. But on the topic here of some memorable moments here, having some home games finally in Northern Colorado. I know the opportunity to go play on grass over in Greeley. I just want to go ahead and ask, what was that experience like to finally play in front of a home crowd?
Look, I mean, it was great just to play at home, obviously in front of our crowd. And I would have played anywhere in Colorado. If you told me I was playing down in Colorado Springs, anywhere, and that's where we were going to play our home games, I would have taken it, because we were on the road. We were on the road for a long time. It felt like a long, long time. And I just felt that, you know, the season started and there was this obviously initial excitement amongst the group, amongst everybody, but the group, they were really excited. And, you know, we obviously had a couple of really good results in the US Open Cup. I could tell, though, that it was just beginning to take its toll mentally. It was like, going down to Denver Airport, making a trip to Denver Airport and flying wherever we're flying. And a lot of games are more towards the East Coast. Sometimes you have to connect flights. So a travel day can be, I mean, between getting up in the morning and getting down to Denver Airport to get to where we're going. And if there's a connecting flight, I mean, last week, I'll give you an example, to Greenville. We would have left Windsor, where most of the players are living. We would have left Windsor at, like, I think we left 7:45 a.m. and we arrived into Greenville. Now, bear in mind, they're 2 hours ahead, but we arrived into the airport at 6:45 p.m. So, I mean, that's just a long travel day, and it takes a lot away from the guys and their legs. And I think when we got home, we were super excited to get home, to be able to prepare the day before, to be able to wake up in your own beds the morning of the game, to arrive, and just try to make it our own home. And for me, I feel like the performance showed that. I mean, I know the first couple of games we tied against North Carolina and Tormenta, and then we beat Fuego. I genuinely felt that those 3 games we performed really well. Even in the Tormenta game, I mean, it would have been really unjust if we had lost that game. We obviously got a late equalizer, but we absolutely battered them in the first half. I really thought we battered them and played some good football. Just couldn't get that killer goal. Obviously, Irvin missed a penalty in that game, and maybe that changes the game. But I felt at home we've performed really well. And especially, I mean, I'm not surprised that, we went all out against Fuego and beat them 4-1, could have been 8-1. So no, look, we're delighted, and we'll take anywhere. And I know we've one more game in Greeley tomorrow against Chattanooga, and then we're really excited, obviously, to get to a magnificent stadium. Canvas Stadium is beautiful in Fort Collins and CSU. We'll be there for July, and we'll look forward to that as well. But we're just excited to be playing at home. And I don't think any team likes to come to Colorado and play here, to be honest, especially with the weather conditions. I mean, honestly, I was told that Chattanooga Red Wolves went out and bought those the oxygen, these little oxygen things you can get if you go hiking in the mountains. I don't know what they cost, whatever. I know they got them for their players to maybe use at halftime or before the game. I don't know. So yeah.
I was actually gonna mention it. Altitude is probably like one of the biggest strengths we have in Colorado, and I could tell that the Fuego team was absolutely gassed after 25, 30 minutes into the game. They were pretty sharp at first. They had some good passes together, but their tactics fell apart a little bit, and it opened up the long ball, which worked very well with that front three supporting cast that you guys had out there. So I thought altitude's definitely like one of the biggest helpful things for playing in Colorado compared to any other team in the league.
Well, I know that Canvas Stadium is going to go ahead and be played on turf. You're going to have to go ahead and let us know on the next time we have you, what you prefer to play. If you preferred playing over in Greeley on the grass or at Canvas Stadium, you'll have to go ahead and let us know here. Maybe that has an impact on the team, but you said it best. The fact that you guys just got the opportunity to play at home, doesn't matter where, just the feeling of having a home crowd and getting rid of that long travel day definitely plays an impact here. But has there been a significant change, or is there a different mentality with the players when they play away compared to home?
Yeah, I just think they're more relaxed at home. I feel like, we want to play a high energy, high intensity game, no matter where we are, home or away. And as I said, it can be difficult playing away from home, depending on the travel day. And especially if you have 2 games in that week, or like last week, we had 3 games in a week. It's hard to keep, up that energy, that high intensity. We want to press teams. It's hard though when you're playing away from home, but at home, we feel much more confident, comfortable, and ready to do it. I think that's the big thing. The guys show up, they're relaxed. And as I said, it's our home, it's our backyard. It's Greeley, it's Fort Collins, it's Windsor. Like we want to make it hard for teams to come, and we want to win every game we play at home. We feel that I know that when we're at home, there's a confidence. I can see it in the group. They don't have to say it. I can see that we're confident that we will beat any team at home, and just having that mentally helps a hell of a lot. So I think that's the biggest thing. They're just comfortable and relaxed.
Awesome. So we're switching over to highlight some of the players that have done well so far this season. I know we've talked in person about Irvin Parra. You were very excited about him coming down to the USL League One. He is leading the team with 6 goals this year. You said he was going to be a potential Golden Boot, and you're very spot on so far. So how's Irvin been feeling? How's he been doing so far in your mind?
Irvin, he's got 6 goals in 11 games. Maybe would have got 1 or 2 more. Obviously, he missed the penalty against Tormenta, but no, look, he's been fantastic. He's a funny striker in terms of he'll score goals, but some of his goals, which is great as a coach, he just produces himself. Obviously, we saw that wonder goal against Carolina, North Carolina at home. Even he got a header last week against Greenville. Like that's it. Like it's a proper striker's header. It's a great header, great finish. And as I said, he can produce moments out of nothing, which is great. And it's something that not every player has, but he definitely has that ability, especially in our league, that he can just create something out of nothing. And as I said, his strike rate is 6 and 11. You almost feel every game that he can get you one. And it's, as a coach, it's great to have somebody like that. But if I can, it's easy to look at Irvin and say, well, all right, he's a goal scorer, he's got 6 and 11, but I know he's frustrated because I think Irvin could also have about 6 assists. He's very good at coming, dropping deep, and turning his defender, spinning and playing these balls through. And I know he's played Jerry Destoon a couple of times through 1-on-1. He's played Lockie through 1-on-1 a couple of times. He could easily. I think he's got 1 assist, maybe 2 assists. I think he got 1 assist, but
1, yeah.
He easily could be sitting there on 6 goals, 6 assists, easily. So So he also has that ability. And thirdly, another thing I'll say about Irvin is, which is great, he's a leader of the team and he works his balls off. Like, he works his balls off. He doesn't stop. He loves the game. Like, he's obsessed with the game. And even at training, like, you know, we're shouting, like, Irvin, go home. We're finished. Like, stop. You know, and he's like a kid. He just wants to be out there playing, training all the time. And he sets that example, which is great. And hopefully other guys can follow and are following that. And if I can rewind to the Chattanooga game where we lost 4-1, I think it was 4-1 down after 60, 70 minutes. You know, Irvin just nonstop. He ran for the whole game. And no matter what, you know, 4-1 down, he just didn't give up. Other guys, I think it got to them mentally. He just kept going. So his work rate is phenomenal. And as I said, having somebody that can produce moments out of nothing is great. And I do believe he's well on his way to getting that golden boot. I know there's a few guys on 6, and there's one guy on maybe 8. Garrett McLaughlin. But I wouldn't be surprised if the other guys, Garrett McLaughlin has a bit of a lull and Irvin just keeps going. I don't think he's going to stop with his strike rate. You know, so he's well on his way to getting somewhere between, if he was to continue that strike rate, it's somewhere between 15 to 20 in the 30 games.
Great. Another player I wanted to highlight is he came down from the championship is Arthur Rogers. So far, he leads the team in appearances and minutes. Do you think he's been a crucial player in your tactical setup for this season?
He has been. Arthur's been. It's a funny one trying to get the best position. So he came in. I know he's a midfielder by trade, but at Hartford in the USL Championship, he was playing left back. So we looked at bringing him in as a left back because he's comfortable with the ball. He's comfortable getting up and down the line, whips in a good cross of the ball. He used to play futsal, so he's very comfortable with the ball to his feet, especially in tight areas. So he's played left back for us, right back for us, and he's played in the middle a couple of times as well in that 6 position. So he's very versatile, and still figuring out what, like, he's one of those players that no matter what, I'll have him in the starting 11, and it's kind of where his best position is and where it's best for the group. You know, I mean, the last few games he's had a run at right back and he's done really well. As I said, he gets up and down the line and he loves to attack. Really does love to attack. So we've been really happy with Arthur. The only thing that we're trying to correct at the moment, and Arthur's obviously part of that in the defensive group, is keeping clean sheets. You know, we can see too many goals, and we've only got 1 clean sheet in 11 games. So we know that we need to work on that as a group, as a team. But obviously, the defensive unit are a big part of that. So Arthur is fantastic with the ball attacking, and he's solid defensively, but it's something that we need to work on as a whole. But we've been really happy with Arthur.
Amazing. And then I'll have to bring up my local friend Trevor. He seems to have, you know, climbed a little bit of a mountain at first when he first joined the club. I've seen a greater change in his play since day one to currently. So how do you feel about Trevor so far? So,
you know, in Ireland, right, we used to give out 2 awards, right, at the end of the year, one for Player of the Year and one for Club Man of the Year. Player of the Year was who was your best player, right? Club Man of the Year was, not only was he a good player and one of your better players, but somebody that's just improved so much. And like, if I had to give out Player of the Year, I'd give it to Irvin at the moment. Obviously, he's flying. You know, we've a couple of other really good performers, Breck Evans and Rob Cornwall. But Club Man of the Year, Trevor. Trevor's come in straight out of college, and I felt pre-season and at the very start of the season, he struggled a little bit, which was 100% understandable, but struggled a little bit to adapt to the professional game. And it was professional demands of the professional game are a lot higher. It's I mean, effectively you're doing, you know, you're playing a game that you love and you've played since you were a kid. It's also your job. So you have to take it and treat it as if it is your job, because it is your job. You're playing professionally, you're getting paid to play professionally. But the demands because of that, because it's a professional game, are just higher than if you're in college. You can get away with things in college, and maybe the college coach won't shout at you and tell you to do this, that, and the other. But he's come in and he's adjusted really well to it. I spoke to him, obviously in pre-season at the start of the season. He was a bit frustrated that he wasn't getting minutes, or as many minutes as he would have liked. But I explained the reason why, and he took it on board. And honestly, I'm delighted with Trevor. He's obviously got 2 goals. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists at the moment. He hasn't played all the games, but I feel like Trevor could easily, between now and the end of the season, he could easily rack up 10 goals. And if you're racking up 10 goals in your first professional season, I mean, it's a fantastic season. And he's grown. He's getting better and better. He's a threat. He likes to run in behind defenses. And in any league, if you have good movement and you run in behind, you're gonna get chances and you're gonna create havoc. And he's been doing that, and he's done that really well. One of the parts of his game that he knows he needs to get better at, if he's going to be that number 9, he needs to be able to hold the ball up better. And if I can rewind to his first start, we saw a boat. We played against Charlotte Independence, and in the first half, he caused havoc kind of running in behind. At the same time, when the ball was to his feet, they had 2 big centre halves who were just knocking Trevor down. And the ref wasn't calling it, because sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But he kept going, kept working, and got his rewards. He got obviously the winner in the second half. So I've been really happy with Trevor. I would not be surprised to see Trevor get 10 plus goals this year. That's the target I've set for him. I'm sure he might even want more than that, but I've set 10 plus goals for him. There's things that we'll work on, and I think if he keeps improving, who knows where he can go. But I've been really, really, really happy with Trevor.
I have noticed a change too from the first couple games. It seemed like he had a little more of like an aggressive mentality, and now he seems shifted and focused on the team's goals and everything. So I've been pretty delighted too. I love talking to his dad in the stands and just showing his development, and very pleased with Trevor. I think I'm shooting personally for him to get 20 goals and assists combined. That's my personal goal for him.
And could he do it? Yeah, he could do it.
Not to put pressure on him.
It's a big ask in your first year. That 20 goals, 20 in terms of goals and assists, I'd expect Irvin to get that. Trevor, if he can get that, I mean, obviously I'd be delighted. And
I'll shoot for 15.
Yeah, 15 would be great. I do think he loves scoring. He has a habit of loves scoring. He's a goal scorer, so you could definitely see him getting 10 plus goals. The other part of his game, the creating it, the holding up of play, he'll get better at that as the season goes on. And it's great for, like, I see it, and the coaches see his development and his work rate. But even as a team, the players see it, because I know after the last couple of games at home, I've had a couple of players, a couple of the leaders of the group come up to me and said, Trevor, he's worked so hard. He was fantastic tonight. And it's great. And it's great that they see it, because they're his teammates. Trevor's great attitude, great guy. I love working with him. And he's a project. I want to turn him into a 15 plus goal scorer. And hopefully he can progress onto a higher level.
I only say that because he was my old friend, and definitely a big rival of mine growing up. So I'm just trying to put a little bit of extra oomph in him. Hopefully he listens or not. Yeah,
I'm sure he will.
All right.
Well, I do want to go ahead and just kind of figure out a few locker room stereotypes about the players here. Just kind of figure out who's who in the locker room, and that should go ahead and wrap up here the discussion on the players. But just quick questions here for you. Like, I'll go ahead and start off with who's the class clown, the locker room clown, guy who's making everyone laugh in the locker room.
We've a few of them. There's a few funny guys on the team. Irvin Parr is definitely one of them. Irvin Parr for sure he's a jokester. And I would Probably if I had to add somebody else, and I think Ethan Vanacore Decker, he's another one that that the guys get a good laugh out of. I would say the two of them are probably the clowns of the team.
Okay. I'll go ahead and ask then, who's the most serious? Clock in, always serious, focused all the time.
Always serious focus. Johan
Mhm.
Johan Panoranda is he's a serious guy. No, he can have a laugh, but he's serious. He takes his stuff serious. Breck Evans, the lads call him a robot. Just the way he is sometimes, the way he acts, the way he asks questions. Great guy. For me, the best left-sided centre back in the whole league. I really believe that. But yeah, he's a good guy, serious guy at times, just because of his little robot personality.
He's been fantastic this season.
Yeah, honestly, really
top performers personally.
100%.
Two boy right here. Our next one. Who's the guy that you're glad he's your teammate, and you'll be upset if you're going against him? The Gattuso of the team.
Rob Cornwall. Yeah, Rob Cornwall. He's wholehearted, and I'm delighted to have him. He's a no nonsense Irish defender. He's like a no nonsense Roy Keane, and that's how he plays at centre back. So the guys love him. The guys love him because they see it, and even in training, like he's a winner in training. So he's definitely the one, I would think.
Nice sense. And last but not least, who's the guy that you have to keep a second eye out for? Maybe smack him on the head, always being late or doing a little mishaps here and there. Troublemaker, we'll call it.
I wouldn't call him a troublemaker, but he's definitely the one that you always have to keep an eye on and go, Jerry Destoon. Like he's from Haiti and he's a relaxed personality. He's very relaxed and sometimes you feel like you're speaking to him and it's going in one ear and out the other. And yeah, I'm sure he's paid a lot of fines in terms of being late and just. But I'd say that kid has so much ability. It's not even funny. Like he has so much ability, and I'm telling you, I'll pull my hair out and go grey trying to just get it out of him. And hopefully I'll get it out of him. Hopefully I'll get it out sooner rather than later, because if I can get out his ability and try to get him to reach his potential, he's unplayable. But I need to get him there. He's unplayable when he reaches it. And we've seen it in glimpses. I thought the game against the Switchbacks, I thought he was phenomenal. He obviously got the goal, but I just thought his all-round play was phenomenal. We see it in training at times. He has something that is just is of a much higher level. But I need to get it out of him. And yeah. Well,
I remember when we last spoke, you said Jerry at Peculiar L's, you said Jerry was one of those players you think had MLS potential.
He does. This is the frustrating thing. He does. He has the ability to do it. He does. And as it's that laid back character that, like, how do I get that? I don't, like, off the field. You be who you want to be off the field. Like, just do your thing. I don't care. I want you to. Everyone's individual, and I want you to be you. And even in the locker room, do whatever. Just when we cross that line and we're training or we're playing games, switch on. And yeah, trying to get him to just switch on, and not be late for training and for physical therapy treatment and all that kind of stuff. He's the one. But he has unbelievable ability. It's up to him to reach it, though, and it's up to me to try and bring it out of him, for sure.
Well, thank you for sharing some of these cool facts about some of these players. And I just have one last topic here that I'm going to go ahead and bring up here, maybe have a little discussion on, and then go ahead and wrap up here. I'll hand it off to Nick here as I go ahead and summarize, finalize anything, ask any reminding questions here. But this next question here, I've been saving it up all day. It's going to be a little bit of a tough one here. So just want to go ahead and see, I've been watching a few of the games here, keeping up on, from the away games, watching them on TV or on the computer here, also following them on social media apps. And it's nice to see that you're not averaging a red card each game. But for a rookie season here, you do seem a little bit of aggressive here, picked up a little bit of red cards here and there. Notable one in the switchback game. first appearance in the U.S. Open Cup. But just want to go ahead and ask there, is there a little bit of a trend going on here, or is this something sporadic, just totally random?
You mean within the team, the players, not me personally?
No, is this some kind of aggression from the players that they have, some kind of hunger? Are they going out there? Or is this something of the league? Is the league just the physicality and the aggressiveness? This is what it's required. Maybe the guys are going a little bit too unlucky, some of these calls.
I think, honestly, okay, so we have 4 principles, right? We have 4 principles within our team. We've had it from day one. We wrote it on the board and we always talk about it, right? Every game we want to see those 4 principles. One is hard work, right? One is just a work rate. Another one is resilience, right? No matter what happens in the game, that we show resilience. Because moments of a game, even when you're winning, sometimes the moments don't go your way, and we have to show that we can fight back no matter what, and we can team first. Always put the team first, no matter what. It's not about the individual, right? And another one, which is our second one, but I'll say it's our 4th one now, is aggression, right? We want to be aggressive in the game. And that does not mean getting yellow cards or red cards. It just means being intense, not giving the opponents time on the ball and space. And I feel like we have a group within our locker room that they are, like, you speak to them, they're winners. They've come here to win. They want to win, and they hate to lose. And when you have that mentality, you go out and you don't just hold back. You fight for every 50-50. You fight for it, and that's just what the mentality is within the group. I feel like the 2 red cards, we've got 2 red cards, and I feel like Destin Norman's was absolutely not a red card, right? Yeah, it was so soft, extremely soft, extremely soft. We appealed that. We didn't get the decision our way, but I mean, we showed video evidence, and I thought it was blatant from the video evidence that we showed. Irvin Paris was, look, that's individual. I think, obviously he was getting tugged back, and he's made a mistake. That doesn't come from that. Just Irvin's a fighter. He's a winner, and that's how he plays. I'm not going to change that. I'll never change that from him. I won't even try to attempt to change it. I'll try to, and I've told him that, sometimes teams may they may pinpoint you and individualize you and try to get a reaction, and you have to be better than that. But I'll never take out his aggression. No, I don't. I think it's a good thing. I think that some soft yellow cards, but no, I think if I can go back to, again, I know I've said it 3 times now or 4 times now, but the Chattanooga game where we lost 4-1, we weren't aggressive at all. We let their midfielders, especially when we went to goal down, we let their midfielders just kind of stroll into our box and into our area, into our middle area. And I wasn't happy with that. When we lost to Omaha 2-0 in the US Open Cup, I didn't feel like we went out fighting. I felt like, again, it took 25 minutes in the second half for us to put a tackle in. So no, 100%. We want to be an aggressive team, but I mean an aggressive team in the tackles, in the 50-50s, not getting yellow cards or red cards. And I'm not gonna. I don't want to change that. If somebody gets a silly yellow card or a silly red card, for sure, after the game, when we're analyzing the game, when we're doing video the next day, we'll pull them and say, "Listen, that was stupid. And I don't want that." And the guys know I don't want that. I don't want stupid, reckless tackles and yellow cards and red cards, because that hurts us. But we're an aggressive team, and that's definitely a principle of ours, and I'm not going to change that.
Let's be real, though. They weren't even going to call Irvin a red if they didn't look up at the screen.
No, they weren't. No, you're right. They weren't. They weren't at all. The people that were closest to it weren't going to call it, and then they looked up at the screen and decided to call it.
I was in the stands that day, and I was just yelling my head off, saying, "There's no VAR in the Open Cup." I'm like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
but that was a frustrating one. But I've noticed too, it's trended down. I feel like at the beginning of the season there was a little bit of a chemistry building time within match fitness and playing 90 minutes, and I think you guys have only had like 5 yellow cards in the last 3 games compared to the start of the season. So I think like the team's focus, the chemistry is there and everything.
Yeah, if I felt it was an issue, I would, if I felt it was an issue 100%, I would have pulled the guys and said it. As I said, I do think the 2 red cards were unfortunate and unlucky in when, especially the Desinoran one. The other yellow cards, yeah, look, referees. I felt the last referee we had in the Fuego game was fantastic. I felt he let the game go, and even tackles. Like, I don't even want to see, unless it's a bad tackle, I'm not even shouting to get the opponent to get him a yellow card, unless it's a really bad tackle. So I like the last referee was great. Can't remember his name, but he was great. He let the game flow, and I thought it was good. I don't think neither team complained. But there has been a few soft yellows, really some soft yellows. I think some of our yellows as well wasn't even from tackles. I mean, a couple of times, I know Daniel Scally, I think he kicked the ball away twice, said something to the referee, and I think 2 of his yellow cards are because of that. Norty kicking the ball away. Like, some of them are soft where the referee can be a bit more lenient, I feel, but
not in the United States.
Look, it is what it is. As I said, at the moment, I don't see it being a problem.
Sounds good. Well, since we last spoke about you being optimistic about being a title contender for this year, do you still feel that way after, I think, 11 games have passed, or 10 for you guys?
We've played 11. I do, yeah. We've played 8 on the road and 3 at home. And I feel you'd see a better reflection if we had played, equal amount of home games and away games. We want to be unbeaten at home, and I think we'll win most games at home because teams will not like coming here, and we'll just be up for the game more in terms of just our energy levels because we're playing at home. I do like. I mean, it's for me. It's if you look at our league, it's a funny league. I mean, it's the strangest league in the world. Honestly, it's so strange, and it's been like that. It's been like that for a few years now. Anybody can beat anybody, and you look at the results last week. Charlotte lost 7-1, and then a few days later they win 6-2. I mean, like, where would you see that? And then Chattanooga, yeah, they win 7-1, and then they lose to Tucson, who are bottom of the table, 2-1 a few days later. Fuego lose to us 4-1, and then they go out and beat North Carolina, who are doing well, 3-1. So it's a strange league. Anybody can beat anybody. As long as I'm seeing progression within my team, I don't want to be concerned about any other team. Yeah, there's a couple of teams that are like, yeah, they're ones to beat. Like Omaha and Greenville have to be. They're so consistent in terms of they're always up near the top, and they're the 2 teams that you're like, look, are we better than them? Can we be better than them? Can we be more consistent than them? When we've played them, do we feel that do we feel like we're a better team? No matter what the result, do we feel like they're just miles ahead of us, or where do we feel in comparison to those teams? Because I have no doubt 100% them 2 teams will be at the playoffs at the end of the year. So no, I do. I feel like we are title contenders. I feel like we've progressed. I think the first 5 games we were figuring things out. I feel like especially our home form, the 3 games at home, I felt there's been progression there. And even going down to Greenville last week, I know we got beat 2-1, but I still felt we had the chances to win the game, and we were well in it. And we came off the field thinking, all right, we lost the game, two defensive mistakes that we need to get better at and rectify. But if we played them again, would we be afraid? Could we beat them? Absolutely. I'm already looking forward to the game where they come up to. I think they come up to Colorado next. I'm looking forward to Omaha when they come up to Colorado. Seeing the difference between them here versus when we go there. So no, I see progression within my team, and that's what I'm concerned about. And as long as I see that, I'm happy, and I 100% believe that we are and will be and can be title contenders.
Yeah, it's a long season. 4 of the next 5 games are at home too, so we'll start to get like a good idea of where we're truly at. Playing at home we've been undefeated so far, so that's a really good sign.
Yeah, undefeated. We have a couple of good games to come up. Obviously, Chattanooga and Madison. But look, and things that we're trying to rectify. I mean, we've let 10 points go in terms of we've been in winning positions, and we've let the other team come back, and whether we tie the game or whether they go on and win the game, we've dropped 10 points from winning positions. I think that's something that as a team will rectify because we're a brand new team, and 100% will rectify that. But 10 points, 10 more points, we're top of the league. Even if we only got half of those points, 5 points of the 10 that we've let go, we would have been second in the league.
Exactly.
So no, I'm happy enough with where we are. I still want to get, look, we want to get clean sheets. That's something that is our number one priority. We want to get clean sheets, and we want to, stop conceding soft goals. We want to score more. I'll probably add that we have a small group. We have 20 players. One of them is on loan from Louisville. We'll probably add 2 or 3 players in a July transfer window that should strengthen our squad. So I'm happy and content with where we're at. There's definitely things we need to improve on, and I know we will improve on that. We will improve on them. But I'll always say, like, it's different if I'm, coaching a team in Europe versus America. America's like it's a marathon because the aim is to get into playoffs and be at a point in playoffs where you're peaking and you're happy with where you're at. So I'm happy with where we're going, and I feel like that's where we'll go into playoffs, having rectified any issues, and I'm sure that we can have a right go with it this year.
I'm sure the clean sheets will come. I think you guys have only had 3 all year, 2 in the cup, 1 in the league.
Yeah.
So I think it's they'll come. I think the last couple of results and the defensive effort have showed it a little bit. Unlucky. It was a great goal by Fuego for their great.
Yeah.
That was an outstanding strike. Other than that, PK is unlucky to concede. And
no, like I feel like the 3 goals we've conceded at home. We've conceded 1 goal in each game at home. The first one against North Carolina was a goalkeeping mistake. Johan knows he should save that. The second goal against Tormenta, Arthur Rogers, literally 5 minutes before they scored, it was Arthur Rogers' man. He came up and said he was cramping, and we had to get him some fluids. And literally 5 minutes later, a ball over the top, and his man scores. And he again says, "Look, my mistake. I know I should have done much better there." And then look, the Fuego goal was again a good goal, a strike from outside the box. I feel that we've been unlucky not to have at least 1, maybe 2 clean sheets in those 3 home games.
Mm-hmm.
But look, there are issues that I've no doubt we'll rectify, we'll get better at. And once we do that, it's just another step towards where we're trying to get to.
All right, before we hop off, what has been your favorite thing to do so far in Colorado?
Favorite thing to do in Colorado? It's definitely the hike and the outdoors. I've been to Estes Park. I have a Rocky Mountain National Park pass. I've been to Estes Park. I wouldn't say once a week, but definitely at least once every 2 weeks. I love it. I'm always there. Always go into the national park, go hiking, go into Estes Park, grab some food. I love Estes Park. Is probably my favorite. If I had to choose something, because I'm there a hell of a lot.
Well, if you haven't been yet, Fort Collins has Food Truck Tuesday. So at City Park.
I was there yesterday.
You were there yesterday?
I was there yesterday for the first time, believe it or not.
I've been trying to get Lachlan to go and to bring some of the lads. I'm like, it's a good time. Everyone shows up. There's live music. You just put a blanket out, eat some food.
It's great. Honestly, it was great. It was a beautiful evening last night, actually. And I had heard about it from a couple of people, and I don't know, it's just one of those things. It's a Tuesday, you get caught doing something else, and you forget about it. But yesterday we went, and I'm delighted we did, because it was great. Some great food trucks as well. We tried this barbecue food joint, had a grilled cheese barbecue sandwich that was great. We tried, I think it was backyard chicken or backyard bird. It was lovely as well. And then the line to this soft serve ice cream place.
That place is so good. I forget the name, but it is. My girlfriend makes me sit in that line while she goes on her walk.
Yeah. But the music was cool. It was honestly, I'll be honest, it caught me by surprise. I just thought it was going to show up to be some food trucks. It was much more than that. It was packed. There was people playing games, playing frisbee, kicking a ball around. The band was really good, actually. So that will probably be a regular on Tuesdays now.
And then I recommend just hop on the trolley one time. It's a fun thing to do. A good old historic Fort Collins thing. Just get on the trolley.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. It'll take you right to Old Town from City Park. It's It's a
Nice.
good one.
I'll try that.
Good for the missus.
Yeah, she'll enjoy it. It's a good thing. Keep the missus happy. That's the most important.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to go ahead and thank you again for being able to go ahead and join us here on another special episode here. It's always nice. I know that last time we spoke about 10, 11 months ago. Hopefully we can go ahead and get another episode here after the season ends. Just go ahead and do a recap here. Looks like the overall image so far has been progression. Overall finding that team chemistry continue to grow and develop. Some goals here to go ahead and maintain those clean sheets and just getting those W's here at CSU Fort Collins. So it's going to be an exciting time. I know that Nick, myself, and the rest of the Storm Chasers supporters group will be going over at a pregame at a location in Fort Collins, which we'll go ahead and post more details about, and then walk on over or march on over to the stadium to go ahead and watch the game. We were able to go ahead and talk about moments about the U.S. Open Cup, some league matches. You got to share a little bit about the play. Thank you on that insight there. Nick, appreciate you always joining and always asking these great questions. Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Go ahead and give it to you for our final goodbye. But again, thank you so much, Eamon, for joining us here.
Cheers, Riccardo.
Yep. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And hopefully we'll do one. He said after the end of the season, hopefully we'll do one right before playoffs.
Yeah,
we
that
can
would
speak
be.
about the playoffs coming up because, as I said, I feel like, I know we spoke 10 months ago or however long it was. It feels like it was much longer than that. And I feel like so much has happened between now and then. I've no doubt that a lot will happen between now and the end of the season.
I know you'll at least be thrilled with the supporters group. I think days away, or they've already come in. We have every person's national flag.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We're ready to post those up. I think we have six flags to wave ready to come.
Nice.
We're getting new membership every game. It's been a growing process for us as well.